Hello and welcome to another episode of Movies, they're pretty good. I'm your host, Travis Dudding, and today we're doing something a little different. Gonna be totally honest with you, just have a very full schedule right now and kind of ran out of time and didn't have time to watch the movie ahead of time and take notes. That's how I usually do it. These episodes is I'll watch the movie, I'll take notes during it, and then I'll record the episode either that day, later, next day, whatever. But kind of ran out of time here, so we're gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna do a commentary episode. You can watch along with me if you want. I'm going to be watching off of Showtime. If you watch off of Blu-ray, it might be like a little bit lagged because I think there's like the Showtime logo pops up at the beginning or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be necessary to be 100% synced up on this. But if you want to watch along, great. If you don't, that's fine too, because I like this is gonna be brand new, and then hopefully afterwards you could tell me never do this again, or this is better than your usual episodes, or you don't carry the way and you're unsubscribing. So with that in mind, we're doing Everything Everywhere All at Once. This year's Best Picture winner at the Oscars. I figure this would be a good way to end the Oscar month or whatever. Is do the brand new winner. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I am hovering my mouse over it. I have it paused at exactly 00, and I'm gonna press play in 3, 2, 1, play. There's that Showtime logo. There's that A24 logo. I love that. Like, very aesthetic. I do say so myself. Gozi Agbo. I wonder if that's the Daniels production company. I have no idea. Some of these title cards, like, there's good ones and there's terrible ones. Okay, now it's starting. So we're opening on Family of Three. It's a shot into a mirror. It's a slow zoom into a mirror. They're like singing karaoke, having a good time. I really like this shot. It's like the perfect way to open it. It's really pretty, really beautiful. And then like the music swelling, and then you get hard cut, daytime, same mirror, door slams, and we're getting another zoom into the mirror. We see our main character Evelyn, played by Michelle Yeoh, the best lead actress winner of this year. Now, just going over paperwork and stuff. We'll find out soon that she runs a laundromat that she lives upstairs from with her husband, Waymond. And so they have all their receipts out and everything because they have to go to the IRS, get their taxes done and stuff. But they have some stuff missing and stuff, so that makes it extra difficult. Taxes are just a pain anyway. And if you don't have something that you're needing, then it's an even bigger pain in the ass. And there's a little bit of tension with them. We're getting basically just like running a business is stressful on its own, and if you're running it together with your partner, that's going to cause its own problems and stuff. I guess her father is living with them, and that's another stressor that they're worried about, is like taking care of him and the business and this tax appointment, all that stuff. Now he's awake. Now they got a customer. So it's just very hectic, very chaotic, this whole beginning. And Wayman looks down. He's holding some paperwork, and it's a petition for divorce. So he is about to file for divorce against Evelyn. We'll learn later that it's kind of like a last resort. Now we get a close-up of Stephanie Shu. She's there with her girlfriend down at the laundromat. She's the daughter of Evelyn and Wayman. And she was Best Supporting Actress nominee. She is amazing in this. Like, to me, it was like a full-on toss-up between her and Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis did win, which is I'm fine with. I know a lot of people had a problem with that. I think she was deserving of it. I think, yeah, I'm fine with it. It's like the way I see it, and I'm sure like a lot of people do. It's like, yeah, give it to the person who has had a very long career and hasn't won it yet. Stephanie Shu is an amazing actress. She's going to have plenty of opportunities in the future. And yeah, I think it's fine. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis is good, you know, but whatever. Like, I would have been happy if Stephanie Shu won. I would have been happy if Angela Bassett won for Black Panther. So her character's name is Joy. She's the daughter. There's a little bit of tension between her and her mom. Her mom being an immigrant, I think, in like kind of just old school, traditional, and in general, you know, this immigrant or non-immigrant, this seems to be the case of the older generations anyway. Not so accepting of the fact that her daughter's a lesbian. So there's a little bit of tension with that, and she's kind of hiding that fact from her dad, Evelyn's dad, the grandpa. So, you know, even more tension in the family just for that. And Evelyn's getting irritated that her husband keeps putting these googly eyes all over everything, and like he says that it's to like just liven things up and everything. Here she is yelling at one of the customers for putting shoes in the washing machine, and tells him that if the washing machine breaks, that he's gonna pay for it. Now here we have Jenny Slate. She was, I mean, people know her from all kinds of stuff. She's playing like a very stuck-up, basic lady. She's got like the bedazzled, shiny Bluetooth in and everything. Just kind of like half listening. And then we got this older, bearded, like veteran guy, like that used to have a wife who passed away, and she was Asian. So I think that's like his, like he thinks that makes him like relatable to Evelyn and stuff like that. But you know, he's nice and everything. Yeah, Wayman says the reason for the googly eyes is that he puts them on the bags of laundry and says that they're happier here.
I still don't know what his brain is thinking. Can Becky come tonight or not? Stop changing the subject. You know, it's like.
So yeah, Joy's trying to get. He's just trying to find out if Becky, her girlfriend, can come to the party that they're having at the laundromat. It's Chinese New Year party and everything, and they're inviting all the customers. So now we're seeing a zoom in on the closed caption or closed circuit TV, and we see Wayman like doing all kinds of like crazy moves. He's like parkouring throughout the laundromat and everything. So this is our first indication of like that something's like not normal with the situation. Like there's something like sci-fi or supernatural going on or something, you know. And then like right before he starts like jumping around, you see him like kind of like he gets like activated like a sleeper agent or something like that. Like you hear the code word or something. And then now we're seeing this movie on TV that will be shown throughout different variations of the same movie. It's just like a fake musical that Evelyn's like obsessed with, I think, because I think it's like she's seeing it and like fantasizing like, oh, she wants to be the princess who's getting like swept off her feet and dancing with this handsome man and stuff. So now Evelyn's overhearing Joy complain to Becky, saying that like, oh, like who cares, like if my grandpa like finds out about you, because either he'll get so freaked out that he'll have a heart attack and die, or he'll just forget about it and then he'll die anyways. So, and then Evelyn's not too happy about that because obviously it's a little insensitive. I mean, accurate, but like a little too blunt, you know. So now the grandpa's come downstairs in his pajamas and just kind of like trying to figure out where his breakfast is, and then Joy's trying to speak Chinese to him, and you know, she's having some trouble, so she asked him how his airplane was, and he's just all confused. He's like, your Chinese gets worse and worse every time I see you. And she was trying to introduce Becky to him, and she was trying to remember the word for girlfriend, but Evelyn stepped in front and said, oh, she's her special friend. So, obviously, a little hurt by that. Double thumbs up from Becky to the grandpa. Nice to meet you, because, you know, she has no idea what's going on. Obviously, not speaking Chinese. Now they're saying I know Chinese isn't a language because there's Mandarin and Cantonese. It's not saying they've said Chinese, so I don't know which one it is. I can't tell the difference personally. You have to try and eat healthier. So Evelyn, a couple times, like she like, I think she feels like she needs to talk to Joy and say something like motherly or like caring or something like that, but she just can't. Like she gets to the situation, she confronts Joy, and then just says, like, she's kind of stalls for a second and then says, you need to eat healthier, like you're getting too fat. So obviously, like, that doesn't go over too well, and Joy leaves all upset. So now we see Joy driving away, just starting to break down. You can tell she's like holding back her emotions and everything. It's a really cool shot of her, like basically like if the camera's on the side view mirror. Great shot. A lot of good shots in this. Like this, to me this movie's like perfect. I mean, I know nothing's perfect, but like so now we get the part one, everything. So they're driving to the IRS in their little dry cleaning Winnebago. I mean, it's just like a motorhome, but it's like advertising their dry cleaner on the side. Dry cleaner / laundromat. And now they're lying to her dad about why they're there. because they don't want them to know that they're being audited. So they're just saying like, oh, we're applying for a new business license. That's why. Now Wayman's noticing this older couple that are all like lovey-dovey and stuff, and you could see it in his eyes that it's like, oh man, like I wish that was us. Like that's all I want is to like grow old and be all like affectionate and in love and everything, probably like they used to be and stuff. Now they're in the elevator, and Wayman's snapped back into secret agent mode apparently. Pulls out an umbrella to cover the security camera. And he's like, we don't have much time. He's being crazy. Like he's putting 2 Bluetooths in Evelyn's ears, one in each. He's saying you have 2 options: either go to your appointment or turn right and go to the janitor's closet. And her head's like being scanned. And there's like he put some app on her phone and stuff, and as soon as it says ready, after the scan's done, now Joy is like seeing a flash of her entire life starting at her birth. The dad's disappointed that she's a girl. Dad's yelling at her for running too fast. She's drawing in school, elementary school. Here she is with Wayman. They're newly dating, moving to America. You're no daughter of mine. So the dad's like not happy about that, didn't approve, and just kind of just was out of the picture at that point. Here they are buying the laundromat. She's trying to get a hold of her dad. He's not calling. Here she is getting morning sickness. Find out she's pregnant. There's Joy as a baby. Joy as a kid running around. Here's Joy in her goth or emo phase, yelling at her, trying to have a mother-daughter moment. The grandpa moving in because he got sick, so he had to move in with them. Now he's saying that like, don't even talk to me about this because I won't remember. So this isn't just like default Wayman. Like he's like being embodied by someone else, like almost like he's possessed or something. Gave her some instructions, and they said, "Talk to you soon." And then his head drops, and he's back to normal. He says, "Wow, fast elevator." And Evelyn's like super confused. Like, what the hell's going on? She's got her little folding cart full of documents. She's glancing over at the janitor closet, like kind of thinking in her head, like, okay, like, do I go over there or what, you know? Like, what is he even talking about? Was that real? Did I imagine it? She's looking at the instructions. Switch shoes to the wrong feet is number 1. But then it cuts up to, here's Jamie Lee Curtis. This is her Oscar-winning role. She's the auditor. She's got her little like bob haircut. Just like typical office work attire and everything. Like she's just really good at this. Just asking her about an expense that she charged to the business. And so she bought a karaoke machine and put it as a business expense. And she's trying to get a write-off for that.
No, please. That will not be necessary. But I will need a separate Schedule C for each of these businesses because based on what you're trying to deduct, you're also a novelist. And a chef.
So there's all kinds of stuff that she's like trying to deduct all the time, like all kinds of stuff. Like we're not getting the specifics on what she bought, but Okay, now she's like kind of tuning her out and looking back at the instructions. Switch shoes to the wrong feet. So she's kind of slipping her shoes off. Switches them. Close eyes. Imagine you are in the janitor's closet. And then... Oh, and then her little Bluetooth clicked. A little light came on. So she's going to look down at step 3. Hold that thought and press the green button. P.S. Don't forget to breathe. Hit. Oh, I forget what that kind of shot is called. Where it's like a... It's like a dolly zoom or something like that, where it's like zooming into her, but then you like adjust the lens and like the background zooms out. So now she's like half, like her consciousness is split in two at this point. So she's still there at the desk being audited, but another part of her is in the janitor's closet with this alternate Waymond. And then she's like, and he just told her to put her body on autopilot. They don't know we're in this universe yet. So, it's a multiverse. Alternate dimensions, other universes. She's not buying it. Like, I was telling her about this like great evil taking over and it's spreading to the other universes and stuff, and that he's been looking for the right version of Evelyn to fight this evil, and he says that it's her, like that she's the one, or at least she's the next one that he thinks it might be. And Deirdre, who Jamie Lee Curtis's character is, butted back in. Telling Evelyn that she needs to pay attention because this is very important. Now she's pointing at her employee of the month statue that does look like a butt plug. she's got 3 of them on her desk, and that'll be more relevant later. I hope you guys have seen. I hope you've either seen this movie already or you're watching along with me, because when that comes back into play later, it's great. And she's saying that like their financial situation is not looking good, like that they might get like fined, or like what's the. They're already being audited, so, like, I forget what the next, like, bad thing that happens to you. Just, I guess, getting... Oh, well, there she goes. She just said, like, oh, we could charge you with fraud. And then, if not fraud, then at least negligence, so... So now she's like over the top enunciating like, I thought you were going to bring your daughter to help translate. So you get that little microaggression right there. Now she's flashed back to the alternate universe in the janitor's closet. And he's saying that this is more important than that, so she's like torn between, because literally Deirdre's telling her the same thing, like this is the most important thing, like you need to be paying attention to this. No, she's all...
Do you think this is funny?
now she's very interested in this alternate Wayman because he's like super affectionate and he's like touching her face and she likes that. Just like, wow, like,
They're gonna kill us. What?
and it's like, our time here is up, they're gonna kill us, and there's like someone pounding on the door. Wayman's blocking the door. A hand pulls through, grabs him.
You're gonna resubmit? I will be in contact soon.
I'll be in contact soon.
Her husband's missing at the audit.
Maybe we can look at all the receipts again.
Another hand goes through, grabs his head, twists his neck, dead. Oh, and so this is an alternate Deirdre with a like a circle on her forehead, and that's who killed alternate Wayman. And hits Joy, or not Joy, hits Evelyn over the head with a pipe, and then she wakes up in her regular self, her true self,
Everything okay? I think I forget
or
something at home.
not self consciousness, whatever. And so, but her scream from the alternate reality carried over, and she stood up and screamed in real life. So now Deirdre's like, sit down, and then she just chugged some like muscle milk or some shit and crushed the carton and threw it in the trash can, and she's telling her that she can go and I'll give you a certain amount of hours and like just get the
You will have until you got the office.
he's like she says you have until I leave the office tonight to get all the paperwork that's missing, bring your daughter, and you have like one more chance basically.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the cookies. They look delicious.
So now they like still have a chance, their last chance, getting up and leaving. And Wayman notices that she was holding the divorce papers. So that's what the instructions were written on the back of the divorce papers. So he thinks that she saw that those were divorce papers and everything, and that's what she's upset about.
So you know about this?
But she doesn't know that. Like, she just thinks it's the instructions, and he's like, oh, like, so you know about this? But so they're like they're talking about two different things in this conversation.
Yeah. I was in the elevator.
And he's all confused, and he's like, so that was you in the elevator? He's like, yeah, I was in the elevator, like,
Yeah.
duh, like, you were there too. And they're arguing in English, so that way the grandpa doesn't know what's going on. So she just looked over, and Deirdre like got up and is like walking towards her, like, and it looks all like sinister. So she's all freaking out, like, oh no, like, she knows that's the alternate Deirdre. She's coming to kill me. So what she's really doing is bringing over the basket that she forgot. But Evelyn goes and punches her right in the face. Deirdre says, call security. Now everyone's freaking out. Like, everyone's looking. And she sees that, like, oh no, she was just bringing me my cart. You have no idea what you've done, assaulting an IRS agent. So now Evelyn sees that that those are divorce papers. Said, who gave you these? And he said, no one gave them to me. Like, and now she's blaming his brother. Says like, oh, your brother gets a divorce. Now you think it's okay to get a divorce? And he's like, no, like, of course I don't think it's okay. Okay. The alternate Wayman's back.
Now you're here. Stop confusing me. Coming and going.
Now things are gonna get real good.
Stop coming here.
Elevator dings. Here's security comes out of the elevator. telling security guard is telling them to get on the ground. Waymond took out the Bluetooths and put them in his own ears. Takes his glasses off. Unzips his fanny pack. Security all grab for their guns, like he's gonna pull a gun out, but he just pulls out some chapstick.
Okay, whatever you think about doing, don't do it.
starts twisting it all the way out. Bites the chapstick. Starts eating it or chewing it. And chews it for a little bit, and that causes the Bluetooth to flash green. He hits the button, and that activates something. And we'll find out a little more about that later. So I was like, okay, like it's almost like he just got charged up, basically. He winks at Evelyn.
Okay, sir, that's enough.
Unclips the fanny pack. And now he's holding the fanny pack like it's a weapon, basically. Flings it at the security guard, whacks him in the face. This whole fight scene's super great. Alright, so this is where we see that Ke Huy Quan, during his hiatus from acting, has been doing some, like, crazy martial arts stuff. Like, he was working with Jackie Chan and stuff like that. So he's doing, like, all kinds of, like, insane moves. And this is, like, amazing. Like, just short round from Indiana Jones, just kicking ass. Like, now he's the now he's the hero. Man, all these moves are so cool. And just the fact that it's like he's using a fanny pack as a weapon. Like it's nunchucks. And like he's in like dad attire. Like he's got his polo shirt tucked into his khakis with his New Balances or whatever. Okay, now he's like taking a break. He's like doing the like wall squat with like one leg up on the knee. And he just took a bunch of gravel out of a fish tank and put that into the fanny pack. Give a little more oomph, I guess. Boom, right against the side of the head. Flings that guy, security guard over the cubicle. Other guy's like, no, wait. And he's just like hitting all these guys. Bam. Right to the ground. They're all defeated. Everyone else is gone at this point. Like all the bystanders just like left as soon as he started like kicking ass here.
What is happening? Why are you alone?
I'm not the Wayman who wants to divorce you. I'm the Wayman who's saving your life.
Evelyn's all confused, and he's like, I'm not the Wayman who's trying to divorce you, I'm the one that's trying to save your life. Like, come on, like, we gotta get out of here. So now we get a zoom, so they leave, but then we get a zoom over to the janitor closet, and then it switches over to the other universe where they got killed.
4,650.
See Evelyn's dead body. We see alternate Deirdre with the circle on her forehead talking about like their leader is coming, like the all-powerful leader, Jobu Tobaki. I think I'm saying it wrong. We're only seeing her feet. Crazy cool outfit. Like an evil Mary Poppins. Topaki.
She knows what makes you tick, what fragile branches.
They're saying that she's seen all. She knows everything. And she touches Evelyn's forehead, and then now Evelyn's seeing all of her alternate selves. Now we're seeing another Evelyn.
Don't die yet, alright, buddy?
Jobu Tupaki is now dressed like an old lady. She's got like the little visor, the vest with the flowery blouse and scarf. Got like a silver curly wig and everything. And she's saying like, "Oh, this isn't her." And now we're seeing alternate Jobu Tupakis. Why am I saying that name wrong? And this is where we find out that the main villain is an alternate version of Joy, who is seeing the big fight on the news and with Becky at a bar, and then it's like, "Hey, isn't that your parents?" And then she just like gets up and leaves. Cutting back to Evelyn and Wayman. They're trying to blend in with all the people that are escaping.
You're not paying attention before.
Of course, you're just very bad at explaining.
He's trying to explain to her what's going on.
Oh my God, we have to go back. We forgot my father.
Don't worry. We're monitoring him. He's safe.
No, are you sure?
Yes.
And he's saying like, "Oh," she says, "Oh, we forgot my father." And he says, "Don't worry, we're monitoring him. He's safe."
Of existence. Every surrounding bubble has slight variations, but the further away you get from your universe, the bigger the differences. This is where I am from. The Alphaverse.
He's saying he's from the Alphaverse. That's the universe that he's from. And then we see him, like his actual self, like in a post-apocalyptic world.
Search to prove the existence of other universes. You discovered a way to temporarily link your
Saying the alpha version of Evelyn discovered the alternate universes, and she's the one that like
their emotions.
built all this technology
Fanny Pack?
Exactly.
to be able to do whatever he's doing or whatever they're doing. Where like he clicks into his alternate self and has all these magic powers and stuff. But we'll find out like scientifically, in quotes, like how all this works in a little bit. So they just pulled some gum off the bottom of a desk, chewed it,
Try to blend in.
and then he like activated again.
Why don't you kill Evelyn to do this?
My Evelyn is dead. Go.
So they're blending in with the crowd and like pretending to be scared. Oh my god, what's going on? I didn't mention it yet, but I'm sure you guys know, but Ke Huy Quan also won Best Supporting Actor. So we got 3 acting winners in this movie, along with Best Picture, along with Best Director, along with Best Original Screenplay. I think that's everything. I'm trying to remember. It might have won another one.
You're just making up sounds.
So now he's telling Evelyn about this villain and everything from his universe, which is Joy, their daughter, from
Oh, you said there's so many
his
of them.
universe.
Maybe it's okay if we lose some, but just leave me out of it.
It's not so simple. She's been building something. We thought it was some sort of black hole, but it appears to consume more than just light and matter.
So she's building some kind of weapon.
What it is. We don't know what it's for.
It's consuming everything.
I feel it. You've been feeling it too, haven't you? Something is off. Your clothes never wear as well the next day. Your hair never falls in quite the same way.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite jokes in this movie that I don't think anyone like I've only seen it referenced by like one random article, but I noticed it the first time I saw it in the theater, and they like randomly referenced the song Story of a Girl. I think the band is 9 Days. It's just a random one-hit wonder from the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. But they just like, and he's like telling So it's Wayman talking to Evelyn, and he's just saying like he's talking about this weapon that Jobu Tabaki's building, and it's like, oh, like it's sucking everything in, it's consuming everything, and I think you felt it too, even here in this universe. And it's like, and he's like, and then he's like saying it's like you feel it, you feel that something's off. Your clothes never fit quite the same way. Or wait. Wait. I'm messing up the line. It's like, your hair never falls quite the same way, and your clothes never fit quite the same. You know, but it's exact lines from that song. And a couple times they reference it, and I think it's just like the funniest, like little subtle joke that they could have done. But like nobody notices it ever. But okay, so now like the Deirdre from the other universe, the one with the circle on her forehead, is now in their universe. Or at least she took over the Deirdre in this universe. And so Wayman's got word for him to jump consciousness. He's got to like do paper cuts between his fingers. And he's like trying to do it right now as like scary Deirdre's like coming towards him like it's a horror movie. Which is pretty fun because it's like Jamie Lee Curtis is now the Michael Myers. So he finally got his paper cut. Now they're headbutting each other. Deirdre's like spinning him over her shoulder. This is basically like a pro wrestler at this point. And then here, she's trying to do a backbreaker on him, but Wayman has grabbed the exit sign from the ceiling, puts it on his spine to like block the blow. Which is still gonna hurt, but at least his spine's not broken. Flying jump kick into Wayman's face, knocked him down, but then she blocks him with the file cabinet. Now she's going for Joy. Or not Joy. Why do I keep saying Joy? I think this just because it's the easiest one-syllable name. Going for Evelyn at this point. Okay, so now Wayman is calling Evelyn on her cell phone to give her instructions like that. And then she's got to like sneak around and crouch. She's putting the Bluetooths in.
Concentrate on a universe in which you study martial arts.
He's told her to concentrate on a universe where she's studied martial arts. So they find like a map to all the like alternate dimensions, basically.
You're gonna have to profess your love to Deirdre.
And so basically they have to... The way it works is you find...
You developed an algorithm that calculates with statistically improbable action.
You basically do like a statistically improbable action that like kind of like maps you to the alternate universe, basically. So that's why he's like doing like... That's why, like, she had to, like, put her shoes on the wrong feet, and that, like, made it able to where she was able to drop, map to the alternate universe. And that's why he, like, ate the chapstick and all that stuff. The paper cuts, all that stuff. So it is just, like, a specific thing, like, a specific, statistically improbable thing that maps you to an alternate dimension. And right now, the thing that she has to do is profess her love to Deirdre. But she's not doing it convincingly. So she's dropped into some other universe that's, like, slightly off from the one she's in now. So now she's just in... It's basically like if she were to have gotten in the elevator and go back down to the RV and have the conversation with Wayman about why he wants to get a divorce.
You always get pulled away.
And she's like, oh, why didn't you tell me? And it's like, well, like anytime like I try to tell you, then there's always something that pulls you away, and I just never get to talk to you because there's just always something going on, you know. And then she gets sucked back into
I need to go.
where she is now.
I need to find the right
Deirdre's beating her up. Wayman says that you're not the right Evelyn, and he's gonna go back to his own Alphaverse.
Evelyn? Father's a
So now we get default Wayman, and he's like all confused why he's trapped in a room with
What's happening in my hand?
behind a filing cabinet. He's all confused why he has paper cuts between his fingers. And now he's even more confused why Miss Deirdre is chasing them, trying to hurt them.
He just left me. She's what you want to shimmer?
And now like she's getting like this like splitting headache that like pushes her back and forth between the two universes. There's two realities.
也许是对的。如果我们没有结婚的话，
He's crying.
我们会更幸福。
Maybe we would have been better off if we never got married.
没说过。
She says, I never said that.
你根本不用说，
And he says, you didn't have to.
你的眼神已经告诉
It's the
我。
way you look at me.
Women.
And then back to
You still do?
scary fighting universe. She's trying really hard to do the Professor Love, saying I love you, but she's like holding up her fingers as a cross. And Deirdre does a flying jump off the top of the stairs down at them. They're on the landing. Evelyn drops down to her knees, hands folded. I love you. Bloop. Click. Now she's getting transported to this martial arts universe. She's in the back of a limo. She's dressed up all nice. It's like beautiful gown. And now she's seeing the path that would have led her there. And it's like if she didn't go to America with Wayman, he's leaving in the cab. She stays with her dad. She's getting mugged in an alley. And here's this random martial arts lady that comes and saves the day. Now she's being trained by her. Very reminiscent of all the, like... Well, it's very reminiscent of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Like, the vibe and everything. Which is a Michelle Yeoh film. And then, so now she, like, actually knows martial arts, but is also, like, in these movies and everything. And then now we're seeing, like, flashes of her, like, on red carpets and everything. Which is cool because it's just... like actual footage of Michelle Yeoh on the red carpet, because we even see like Crazy Rich Asians in the background and everything like that. So now it's flashed back to her reality. She's fighting Deirdre. She's doing all these moves. She's like deflected the jump and just blocking the punch and all this stuff. Super cool. It's all in slow motion too. She's like, which is great because you can see her like reactions to it. And she's just like shocked that she's doing all this stuff. And Wayman's like has no idea what's going on. And Deirdre's head goes right through the drywall. And she's stuck there.
Why did you? How?
It's like, where did you learn that? How did you do that?
Kuma?
He's asking, are you crying?
看到我的时候，
And she says, I saw my life without you. I wish you could have seen it.
it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. And that's
听我妈说的话，我要跟你讲。
not what you want to hear. And she even says, like, I wish I would have listened to my father and not gone with you. So he's upset. But then he gets taken over by Alpha Wayman. So they run away. Now they're in like a boardroom.
Stay calm. Your brain is under an incredible amount of stress.
Let me finish talking with my husband. He needs to know how good my life could have been.
He's saying like, oh, your brain is in an incredible amount of stress. And then she's flashing back to the other reality.
Are you with me?
He kind of snaps her out of it.
Why was I still there?
Your mind is like a clay pot holding water. Every jump opens another crack.
So the analogy he's giving is that your mind is like a clay pot holding water, and every jump you make is a new crack that like leaks the water out. So the more cracks you have, then the more unstable your brain is, and it could just like burst at any moment. So
The cattle were killed off.
well, that's like, especially if you don't know what you're doing, I think. And then now he's like saying like, he's eating the bagel off the table. He's like, oh, cream cheese. Like in my reality, all the cows have been killed off. So he's like super pumped for this cream cheese. He even like chugs like half of a carton of half and half.
Okay. I'm back.
Listen, you're only using the other world's by special skills. Do you understand?
And he's just trying real hard to keep her like in this reality. It's like, hey, like stay focused. I know it's like tempting to go like jump to that other alternate version of you, but like
Wish you can move in
stay here. You know, this is important.
Enough of your clay pots, cream cheese, no cows. Explain it all to me now.
And she's like adamant, like, all right, no, like just explain everything right now so I can understand it.
We began training many young minds to verse jump.
In the Alphaverse, we began training young minds to verse jump.
I wanted to explore. You saw her potential.
And that there's one girl who was like really good, and they pushed her too far past her limit. It's Joy, obviously.
Her mind was fractured.
And that her mind got fractured, and basically she was living every reality at the same time at all times, basically.
Every world, every possibility, at the same exact time.
Yep. Every world, every possibility at the same time. That's what she's experiencing.
Now she's seen too much. Now seeing a sense of morality.
Now we're seeing
Objective truth.
our Joy. She's crossing the police caution tape, going into the IRS building where they are. But she's got this smirk on her face, this like devious smirk and everything, so.
Hey, you said I was the wrong one.
What you did back there changed my mind. You were incredible.
You know, she's flashing back to the martial arts. She's at this like big premiere, all these paparazzi are flashing pictures of her. Beautiful like foyer of this like grand theater. And now she looks up at the top of a staircase. There's that universe's Wayman. He's in this like super nice suit. He's got his glasses. These are really nice glasses. It's like looking handsome as hell. Just like zeroes in on him, goes up to the top of the stairs to talk to him.
你怎么会？
好，你先说。
这听起来挺无聊的。我在广告牌上看到你，我还在想你会不会记得我。
He says like, this is crazy, like I saw your face on a billboard and I wondered if you'd even remember me.
还好，我挺幸运的。
And he's like, and she said, oh, like, shouldn't you be in America? I thought you'd be like poor by now or whatever. And he's like, no, I got lucky.
Evelyn, jump to another combat universe.
All right, now we're back. We cut back to our universe. You got handcuffed, like security caught up to her.
What did you do to make the chip staple something to my forehead?
Oh, we got the original Deirdre's back, and she's like confused why there's something like a circle drawn on her forehead and something stapled. But someone's coming up the service elevator.
Is that you, copy?
And so, like, the cops are all freaked out, like, okay, like, what's going on? Elevator opens. Get Joy in this, like, she's only lit by this, like, red light. She's, like, super obscured. Here she comes with this, like, Elvis outfit, basically. This, like, white studded Elvis outfit. She's walking a pig on a leash. Pink wig. Smoking a cigarette. Bedazzled makeup and everything.
Can't be it.
Cops are telling her that she can't be here. She's pulling the teacher move of, like, is it that I can't be here, that I'm not allowed here? So just going into specifics.
See, I can physically be here. But what you meant to say is you're not allowed.
But all these outfits that she's gonna have, like, when she's, like, flashing throughout all of her versions, are why I think they should have won the best costume Oscar. But hey,
See, I don't think you understand the meaning of that word.
she just broke out of the handcuffs. She grabbed the cop's face, and all the lights started flashing, and then a bunch of confetti flew out of his mouth and his head exploded like a piñata. Now her face switched around. She just smoked the gun like a bomb. Now they're salsa dancing. Or flamenco, probably. This is very frilly. Just turned into a luchador. Broke that guy's neck. Then she gets shot, like, all bloody.
Don't worry, Evelyn. It's organic.
I hope you're watching along, because that, I can't explain that joke and do it justice. So now, like, the guy tried to hit her with the baton, and she grabbed it. It turned into a dildo, which she is now beating the security guard bloody with this giant, two dildos covered in blood. Now Evelyn's putting it together that she's Jobu Tabaki.
Don't engage. She can't be reasoned with.
Now Joy's in a golf outfit, also looking badass. Like, these costumes are so cool. All these looks are, like, super cool.
You're the reason my daughter doesn't call anymore. She dropped out of college and gets tattoos.
She's like, oh, you're the reason that my daughter doesn't call anymore. And she dropped out of college and gets tattoos and thinks she's gay. And she's like, wait, seriously? Like, you're still hung up on that
You're still
in this
hung up on
universe?
that I like girls in this world. The universe.
Super creepy, dark hallway shot. Starts running out of the shadows. Joy, or then Evelyn stops her.
Don't make me fight you. I'm being good.
I don't believe you.
Now, Evelyn's trying to access her martial arts self, but she has too many, like, universes going, and it's not working. And she's trying to do something random to like activate a universe, so she peed herself, but it doesn't work. Now her hands are all floppy. She's trying to slap her with her floppy hands. And now we see what reality she's accessed, and she has these giant, long hot dog fingers.
She appears to be in a universe where everyone has hot dogs instead of fingers.
So she's back in the laundromat, and she's watching that same like movie from before with like the prince and princess dancing, and they have hot dog fingers, and she has hot dog fingers, and then Deirdre comes up behind her and like gives her a hug from behind, and then she has hot dog fingers, but they're like a couple in this universe. Like they're together in this universe. Now we're seeing like evolution way back like 10,000 BC, and then the hot dog fingered apes are beating the regular fingered apes to death, and then that's why like everyone has hot dog fingers. Like that's how far back the deviation happened in this universe. Oh, and then like in the movie they're like shooting mustard and ketchup out of their fingers into each other's mouths. It was really funny looking. Just asking Joy, what do you want from me?
Here.
Back in the regular universe.
Let me help you open up your mind.
She grabs her hands. Let me help you open up your mind. And they're doing one of those like things. Here's the church. Here's this. I don't know which one it is, but like where you put your hands together.
It's okay.
And you like crisscross them with the other person, and then they open it up to look inside. And now you see the same shot before when Wayman was talking about the weapon, and then the curtain opens and it's a giant bagel. I got bored one day and I put everything on a bagel. And I mean everything.
Everything.
Like
All my hopes and dreams.
old report cards,
Every breed of dog.
every ad on Craigslist,
Sesame.
sesame, poppy seed,
Salt.
salt.
And it collapsed in on itself.
Collapsed in on itself.
Because you see, when you really put everything
So I like this because it's like it's all windy. It's like super like big like tight close-ups on Joy and Evelyn's faces.
nothing matters.
Because like when you put everything on a, like basically like when you look at everything, then when you have everything, then nothing
Feels
matters.
nice, doesn't it?
Or when you can see everything, then nothing matters.
If nothing matters,
If nothing matters,
then all the pain and guilt you feel for making nothing of your life.
then all the pain and guilt means nothing either.
Sucked into a bagel.
Really like that part. Like she like is just explaining everything, and then like just says like sucked into a bagel, but she like sings it, and then like there's like the single tear going down her face and everything, and the music swells. But then the grandpa comes in his wheelchair and runs her over. So she's knocked out, and it's this alternate version of the grandpa, obviously, because he's in this like crazy high-tech wheelchair. Wakes up Wayman. They go to the office, some main office in this building.
Sir, I have this under control.
Again, you deliberately disobey me and cause another mind to be compromised.
stop Jobu Tapaki.
You mean people not telling you?
Did you see her dance that man to death? There is no way I am the Evelyn you are looking for.
No. I see it so clearly.
So this like alpha version of the grandpa is like saying like, hey, we gotta like
No good at anything.
abort this mission. And then Wayman's like, no, like this is the right Evelyn. Like you should have seen what I seen.
You have so many goals.
So he's vouching for her. He's like, no, this is the right one. We're on the right spot. Like we gotta make this work.
I can't believe it worse. What about the hot dog one?
Oh yeah, and then
You see?
so the reason that they've picked this Evelyn is because she's like the one who's done the least with her life. Like she's like
Close to them.
the saddest one, the worst one or whatever, and she's like she gets a little offended, like as you would, and is like, no, like I can't be the worst one. Like what about the hot dog one? And I think it's just because, and he's basically saying like, well, it's like it's because you have the most potential because you like you haven't done anything. You know what I mean? Like you're starting from nothing, so you have like everywhere to go basically. And so Joy's pounding on the door, and it's like they're debating on, is it the real Joy? Is it Jobu Tabaki? And then they're getting the readings that she's not there because she's in the Alphaverse where
These two here while I deal with
Waymond is, like, well, his real alpha self is.
Get us as far away from Joy as you can. I'll be back, I promise.
No, wait.
So now, like, the Alpha
Joy's here.
Gong Gong, that's the name for the grandpa. Or, like, grandpa in Chinese.
Be patient. This is
Him and Alpha Waymond have
Joy, why are you here?
I have no fucking
ditched her, and now it's just like all the normal versions of everybody in this version. Everyone's confused. Joy's like, why am I in this outfit? Why am I here? And then Evelyn tapes her to the office chair just to be safe.
，Alpha 狗狗要我跟他打。She's too powerful.
你在说什么啊？
We all having a stroke.
Everyone's super confused. Evelyn's like trying to explain it.
你们的身体也在
She's saying like, oh, you don't remember anything because their bodies are under control from people from another universe.
No puppets. You can do
Said
things
like
no
we're
one
like
cannot
puppets.
do. It's like that movie.
It's like that movie,
That movie.
Rakakuni.
Rakakuni. What?
They're like, what movie? What are you talking about?
Chef.
And
And he makes bad food.
she's talking about Ratatouille.
Sit on his head to control him.
And then they make fun of her for that, like TV Ratatouille, and then they all laugh at her.
Ratatouille? I like that movie.
No. Ratatouille. With the raccoon. Everybody stop making up sounds.
And everyone's just laughing at her now.
Joy is Rakumi and
And then they're saying, and so she's using Ratatouille as a like analogy for what's going on, which is accurate. It's like they're being controlled, but instead of by a rat, they're being controlled by themselves from another universe.
You are macho, man.
I like that. Honey, don't worry, Daddy will get you out of this.
Okay, so Alpha Grandpa's back. He's handing Evelyn a box cutter saying to kill this version of Joy. Just because that way it's like, just to keep this. He's saying like, hey, like if you kill this Joy, then this universe is safe. It's like one less place for her to destroy. And she's like, no, I can't kill my daughter. And he's like, well, how do you think I feel? Like, I know, like, this, it's my granddaughter, you know? Like, it's hard for me, but we got to do what we got to do. But she's like, no. Like, there's got to be another way, you know? She's not going to just, like, kill her daughter right here, especially when it's not the evil version right now, you know? That makes it even harder. And it'd be hard either way, you know? Because I think it's like, yeah, that's like the classic like ethics question of like, would you kill baby Hitler? Which might be easier if you're not his parents. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't, you know, if a time traveler came and told me that my kids were evil, there's, you know, I'm not going to do anything about it except for, like, maybe, like, make sure that, like, do everything I can to make sure they don't end up like that. You know what I mean? So she can't do it. She just cuts the tape, but then Alpha Grandpa's like, nope, like, and pulls a gun out of nowhere.
Don't you see what is happening to your mind?
And the other two are freaked out, like, why does Grandpa have a gun and speak English? You know?
You created Jobu Tapake.
爸爸，不要开枪了。
I must
You enjoy right there. It's like, when did he get so good at English? And he's explaining to Evelyn, it's like, hey, like, it's like you created her, like, it's your responsibility to kill her. But she's like standing in the middle, and she's like, now she's just doing like a bunch of, because she has no link to the other universe, and they can't tell her like what to do, like what random thing to do.
I know you don't agree with me, but this is something I have to do. That sounds weird.
No. Wait.
So now she's just doing random weird things until the thing blinks green, and then she can access that alternate self. So she like started dancing. She put some hand sanitizer in her eyes. Now she's like speaking monkey with subtitles.
Not lose another loved one to the darkness. Don't worry.
And she talked like Wayman for a little bit. She wipes Grandpa's snot off of his upper lip and then puts it in his mouth. Now she's flashed to like as she's like a maid in this same office, and we get a director cameo from Daniel Scheinert. It's two Daniels, Daniel Scheinert, Daniel Kwan. We get Daniel Scheinert as the pervert owner of this office, who's like got a secret dominatrix room in the back. And now she used that information from that other universe to see where the button is to open that back room, the BDSM room. And they went in there to hide. Now Alpha Grandpa's activating everybody from the Alpha universe to jump into their selves in this universe. And so now, like, we're seeing random people all throughout the town. They're getting activated and going to the IRS building to stop Evelyn, to stop Jobu Tupaki, everything. So they're hiding out in the sex panic room. And they're having this, like, very emotional moment while there's this, like, leather bondage stuff like hanging on the walls behind her. And also Evelyn can't get the name Jobu Tupaki right, so she's like Juju Chewbacca. She's trying to explain it to Joy. Joy's not getting it, but like she's trying to, because obviously something weird's going on when you're Grandpa that all of a sudden speaks fluent English and pulls a gun on you. So now these guys are on the outside are throwing smoke bombs into the panic room to like smoke them out. Everyone on the outside is doing all kinds of random shit to get like to activate. Like one lady's singing Ave Maria. One guy is like trying to Xerox his ass. Like someone's like humping the pillar. Everyone's doing weird stuff on the outside. Someone's like licking the wall. Evelyn like linked to some place where she has like good lung strength. That way the gas won't like affect her. She grabs some like so she grabbed like a little like spinning feather tickler thing, and then like spun it until it like by her nose to make her sneeze, and then like that activated a universe where she went blind and became because she was blind, she became like an opera singer and has this improved lung capacity. So now it's flashing back and forth between her in a concert performing to here where she exits the panic room and she's doing all this slow-mo fighting again. Same security guard from before. He's still there, but he's like bloody as shit because he got fucked up by a fanny pack. Just throw some gas masks into Wayman and Joy. So as she's getting beat up in this universe, it's like affecting her concert in the other universe. So she like gets hit and then she like kind of stutters in the concert. She just grabbed some like frog statue and swallowed it, which is activated where she was a sign spinner for a pizza restaurant. So she grabs the SWAT guy's shield and is spinning it like signs, you know, like the sign spinners do, like out of the corner. Super awesome. Like, these fight scenes are great. Like this movie literally does have everything. It has the comedy, it has the action, the martial arts, the drama, the sci-fi, a little bit of horror. Everything. It gets all of it right, too. Just frisbeed the SWAT shield around and like knock out like 10 people with one spin.
See? Not dead. Go.
Wayne's all freaked out, like, did you kill them? And she's like, no, they're not dead. She like kicks a wrench into one guy, he groans, and she's like, see, not dead. Nope. She just got kicked into a vending machine by Jenny Slate from the laundromat. She has her dog on a leash who she's spinning around above her head. So she's using her dog on a leash as a weapon. Evelyn's chugging orange soda because that's the thing that's going to activate her into a universe where she was a hibachi chef. Just gives her the ability. Oh, so she picks up like a spatula and like 2 spatulas. She cuts the dog's leash. The dog like flies off and bounces off a cubicle. Picks up some like egg that she's gonna throw at Jenny Slate, knock her out. Now they're running. But now she's like flashed back to the hibachi universe, so she's like kind of stuck there. And she's getting fired because that's affecting her in that universe too. Just flashing to some other chef who's like doing better than her. He's like showing off all cool. But now we got some guy with some poles as weapons, and he's hitting the cubicles. He's coming at her. He's fighting her with these like, I guess like pipes probably. Like long metal pipes. She's trying to fight him off, but she's still stuck in the hibachi thing, so I mean she has like her martial arts stuff, but Like, this guy's good. She just doesn't have a weapon. She's fighting with a keyboard. Oh, she got one of his pipes. They whacked each other in the Bluetooth ear, so they're like both stumbling for a second. Oh yeah, and so that's deactivated them from their like skilled selves, and they just like start slap fighting each other for a little bit. And the guy says, "I need another jump." And then we hear the voice, but we can't hear what it says. And then he glances over at the Employee of the Month butt plug statue, and then unbuckles his pants. And so he's going for that. Evelyn figures it out, and then she's trying to get it away from him. And so they're like fighting over this like butt plug Employee of the Month statue.
That's not weird at all.
And like all like Joy and Wayman can figure out is like she has to do something weird, and then she gets like a power. Like from their end, like that's all they could think. But here comes the security guard from before, flying off the edge of the, the cubicle, completely blurred because he's like Donald Duck in it, no pants, flies right onto the butt plug, right up the butt, activates his Bluetooth. So now he's fighting. You can see, like, it blurs out his, like, lower region. But you can see the little butt plug statue, like, dangling out of him. And so this is this, like, badass fight scene from a guy with no pants with a little, like, butt plug statue sticking out. Insane. So the other guy that was trying to get it before has found a giant trophy to stick up his butt, and now he's fighting too. So it's like every time she gets hit really hard, she like flashes to one of her alternate selves, and it's like affecting her in that other universe too. So now, like, you got security guard flying over the top of her. You got the other guy sliding under her. She grabs both anal instruments, yanks them out. They're powerless. They fly off into the side. So now we see the martial arts. Evelyn is at her movie premiere, but the movie is what's happening in this universe. So everyone's like watching what's happening in our universe as it's like a movie. Grandpa has pinned her with the office chair. He's pulling out a hand grenade. But now Evelyn is flashing to a version of the martial arts universe where it's all like pinky based martial arts. Now her pinky's so strong that it breaks the office chair, makes Grandpa fly back. She's free, but now she's being surrounded by other people, and she's gonna fight them all off with her pinkies. Flashbang grenade goes off. That guy, done. This lady, done. This guy. Oh, right there you get the frickin' Super Smash Brothers like KO sound effect. Love that. And I did look it up. I'm like, okay, does that just sound like the Super Smash Brothers thing, or is it? And then I looked it up, and it's like, yeah, that is the sound effect they use. Okay, Alpha Wayman is here, finally. He's holding her. She says, "Oh, did you see how good I am?" She finally got Jobu Tupaki's name right. And he's saying that this plan to save your daughter is like pissed off everyone in the multiverse, and that's why everyone's coming after her. But Wayman in the Alphaverse has been attacked. Like this like little RV station got like crashed by Jobu Tupaki, so that he's like hurt, he's dying. And it's flashing back and forth. We see she's entering the RV. She's about to finish him off. She's wearing basically like an outfit that looks like a virus, basically. It's like she looks like COVID. And then Alpha Wayman dies.
What happened?
And now it's the
Is that Raccoon Wayman again?
our Wayman's back. Evelyn's disappointed. He says like, "Oh, what happened? Was I Raccoon Wayman again?" Okay, now Jobu Tupaki's here in our universe. She's wearing like this like very like
Potential.
You still can't see what's happening.
frilly black outfit, like a
More clearly than ever before.
video game villain basically. But Evelyn's falling apart. It's like she's cracking like crazy because she's activated all these universes and she doesn't know how to control it, and it's too much for her. She just starts barfing.
Oh my god.
She passes out.
So close.
Please help her.
And it's like she's dead, and then she's like,
I'll see you again soon.
and then like
Somewhere.
Wayman's trying to like revive her, like someone help her, but Jobu Tupaki's just like starts singing, and it's zooming out like an overhead shot, and then the end. Written and directed by Daniels. Produced by Alexander Wong and Evelyn Wong. Starring, but then it's zooming out. We see a theater screen, and it's the movie premiere from before. You know, the martial arts Evelyn. She's falling asleep. She wakes up like. Then everyone's that version of Wayman's like very interesting but very sad. Like so it was like, you know, fake out ending right in the middle of the movie. That always works. She rushes out of there. And then we see the pizza sign version of her get hit by a car. The opera singer version collapses on stage. Hibachi version goes back into the kitchen and sees that the guy, the other chef that was like all good and showing off, has a raccoon that was hiding in his hat, controlling him like Ratatouille. So this is Raccacoonie. Basically, it's like a universe where her misunderstanding of the movie Ratatouille has been embodied in real life, where a raccoon is controlling a hibachi chef. Now it's flashing to the hot dog fingers. Deirdre has surprised her with a date night at home.
No! Stop that!
They're doing some weird hot dog finger dance. And Deirdre was just like made this like nice night for her and everything, and Evelyn like freaked out and ran out, and Deirdre's crying. Now it flashes back to
I can think of whatever nonsense I want.
martial arts
Telling like a
star Evelyn. She's like left the theater. Wayman followed her out into the alley, like, hey, like, what's going on? And she's like still just kind of freaking out. He's just trying to get her calm and everything. Now we flash to
没事吧？
our Evelyn.
你又发呆了。
No, wait, no, not our Evelyn. This is the Evelyn that, like, where
真的吗？
she left the IRS fine and everything. She's back at the house. They're trying to get all the paperwork together and everything.
Don't forget these cookies. Miss
Wayman's saying like, hey, like go drop off the paperwork before the party starts and everything's gonna work out fine. So she's going through all the receipts and everything back at the house. Splits again. Now we get part 2 everywhere. So we got some singers there, like a little like barbershop. Not a quartet because there's only 3 of them, so I don't know what that would be. Barbershop triplet. I don't know. But they're supposed to be a surprise for the grandpa, but now Joy and Becky have shown up.
Hey, Becky. Can you go help
But
with the party?
Joy switched into her Jobu Tupaki persona and was like, hey Becky, like, can you go over there for a second? So like now she's gonna go upstairs and threaten her mom basically.
See it all, don't you? You can see how
So now
everything
she's followed her into the martial arts universe. Well, I guess it's a different one because this is her like
vibrating superposition.
in the outfit, like she's in the movie, like the martial arts movie. Now they're like in a prison where Joy's the guard and Evelyn's the prisoner. Now they're cartoons, but not cartoons, like kids drawings. Joy cuts herself open. Now they're pinatas.
The way in a sea of every other possibility.
Now they're just upstairs, like
You're like me.
up in the living room.
I'm the one you're looking for.
Joy says, you're like me, like you could see everything, you're experiencing it all at the same time. So Joy's thinking this is leverage to like get her on her side and everything. Like instead of like, hey, I'm gonna kill you, hey, join me, that type of thing. The classic Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker thing. So then Evelyn punches Joy, like while they're like fighting, and then Joy like pretends to be all like hurt. She's like, "Oh." I think that part's really funny. Then Wayman comes in and is like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he knows, like, he can tell that like something's going on, but then they both like tell him to leave.
Hey, buddy.
If you don't want to fight me, then why?
Why what?
What's all this for?
Why was I looking for you?
So she's saying like, "Oh, like if you don't want to fight me, then what's all this for?" And
Sit down.
so now Joy's gonna explain like, "Hey, like,
Make yourself comfortable.
uh."
Hey, you okay?
Basically like gonna kind of try to convince her to like join her in her like nothing matters point of view. And they're both sitting on the cracks of the couch, like between the cushions, and they get sucked in. Now they're in this like place, this like all white room, very like decadent, like almost Greek Roman style architecture with the pillars and everything. Joy has like this, her hair done up in a donut shaped bun.
Sorry, no can do. Why not? I am your daughter.
And it took me a couple watches to realize that that's Deirdre that's like pushing Evelyn along. She gets handed a Dr. Seuss-esque book that's titled Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's like kind of illustrating what point she's trying to make about the donut and nothing matters and everything.
And you know, I would only do the right thing for her. For you.
right is a tiny box invented by people who are afraid. And I know what it feels like to be trapped inside that box.
好朋友，老友嚟㗎。
Wow. No, it's
And then we're flashing to all the times that Joy was hurt by things that Evelyn has said, like the microaggression about Becky just being her good friend and not saying like what she really is and everything. So she's walking her up to the curtain where the everything bagel is.
changing.
I still know.
And she wants her to look inside.
No idea what you've done. You're stuck like this forever. No, I'm coming back with love.
Saying that like, oh, she's gonna be stuck like this forever, where she's like experiencing everything all at the same time.
Okay. Good luck with that.
So they open the curtain. Sound goes out. Just this like that like whine. Now we're flashing to all the versions of Evelyn. Even ones we haven't seen yet. Now it's back to the now we're seeing the Chinese New Year party at the laundromat. Some of the customers were there. Jenny Slate's arriving. All the decorations are up. It looks great. It looks gorgeous. Like, I want to go to this party. Like, you wouldn't think, like, oh, party at a laundromat, but then they make it look really good. Like, I want to be there.
I wasn't looking for you so I could kill you.
And Joe Butapagi says, I wasn't
Looking for
looking for
someone who could see
you
what I see.
so I could kill you. I just wanted to find someone who could see what I see.
Feel what I
Feel what I feel.
之前你在问关于我们的女儿，真的是太疯狂
Now
了。
I flash back to the martial arts Evelyn outside of the movie theater where she left. She's talking to this alternate Wayman, like, hey, like, you're talking about, like, we had a daughter in this other world, like, where if we had, like, been together.
is you.
Now it's going, like, back and forth all over the place. Now we get, like, our Evelyn is waking up. So remember, she died in the fake out. The fake movie fake out.
Shut up. I said shut up.
And then Chinese New Year party, Evelyn gets the call from Deirdre, like, hey, like, you didn't even show up. I gave you this last chance. You didn't show up. Deirdre calls, like, she's all pissed. Evelyn tells her to shut up and hangs up the phone. Martial arts Evelyn is talking to Wayman out in the alley. And she's explaining the life, like her real life in our universe, like what
很清楚，
they were like.
我也不是认真的。
Like, they lived in a tiny apartment, they had a daughter, they were doing, you know, they owned a laundromat. Now we see her at the laundromat. She's all drunk. She grabbed her karaoke microphone and she's making, like, an announcement to everybody.
We're just going around in circles. Doing laundry and taxes.
And she's saying that her life is just going around in circles, doing laundry and taxes. Then she pulls out the divorce papers and signs them right there. Then Deirdre shows up with the cops.
You have left me no option but to authorize the seizure of your personal and your business assets.
Saying that the IRS is going to seize their personal and business assets. But now we cut back to now we're just cutting through all of them. Hibachi Evelyn has revealed Rakakuni to be a fraud to the whole restaurant. Everyone gasps. We're cutting through all of them. She touches Wayman, and then he's flashing through all his versions. But then in the one we see that she stabbed him with a piece of glass. Right in the stomach. Gives them the divorce papers in the laundromat version. Deirdre moves out in the hot dog fingers version. Now we see everything going wrong in these other versions. Like all the sad stuff. Like basically now she's seeing that like, yeah, like her normal life is sad, but it could easily be like that in all these other places, you know. Laundromat version is picked up a bat that has googly eyes on it, and now she's gonna start breaking stuff. The Raccoon from Raccoon is getting taken away by animal control. She's staring in the bagel in that reality. Our Wayman is asking why he got stabbed and he falls to the ground. Flashing through all the versions of Evelyn. Even ones we haven't seen. Like all crazy sequence. Bunch of random ones. Like a Renaissance painting with a gas mask. Different creatures. Versus an alien, one of them. Now she's getting arrested in the laundromat one. And then she turns into a rock. Now we just see a rock looking over a cliff. Two rocks. Desert cliff, desert landscape. Probably like Anza Borrego out like between San Diego and Arizona. Now the rocks are talking in subtitles. Oh good, you're here too. Joy? Is that you? And then it's like one of the universes where life never existed and most of them are like this, and then everyone says, yeah, it's nice. And then everything feels so far away. Joy, I'm sorry about ruining everything. Shh. You don't have to worry about that here. Just be a rock. I just feel so stupid. God, please, we're all stupid. Small, stupid humans. It's like our whole deal. For most of our history, we knew the Earth was the center of the universe. We killed and tortured people for saying otherwise. That is until we discovered that the Earth is actually revolving around the sun, which is just one sun out of trillions of suns. And now look at us trying to deal with the fact that all of us exist inside of one universe out of who knows how many. Every new discovery is just a reminder we're all small and stupid. Evelyn says that last part. And who knows what great discovery we'll make next to make us all feel like even smaller pieces of shit. Language. Seriously? I'm just joking. That was a joke. Ha 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 ha. It's completely silent too. There's like no music in this part. And that way I think that makes it even better. This is like the slight, very slight sound of wind. Now, like, Joy's experiencing, like, yeah, I've been trapped like this for so long, experiencing everything. I was hoping that you would see something I didn't. That you would convince me that there was another way. Evelyn asks, what are you talking about? Now we're back to the Hall of Bagels. And she's saying, like, why she actually built the bagel was that she didn't want to destroy everything. It was destroy herself.
I wanted to see if I went in, could I finally escape? At least this way. I don't have to do it alone.
She was hoping to die, and then she's saying, like, well, now if Evelyn goes with her, now she doesn't have to do it alone. flashback to laundromat version. She's kind of focusing on this one, and the bagel one is trying to Joy is trying to like convince her to like stay in that reality, but Evelyn's too distracted by Wayman. He's talking to Deirdre, trying to explain things.
Okay, you can let her go.
And then Deirdre tells the cops like, okay, you can let her go.
Okay. Yes.
So Evelyn's just trying to figure out like, okay, like what did he say that like fixed all this? And she was assuming that he was making things worse. So she gets uncuffed. Well, there we go. The Mandarin is the type of Chinese they're speaking.
How? That's impossible. It's just a statistical
Thanks.
inevitability.
Subtitles.
Nothing special.
I don't know. I just talked to her.
He's asking like, oh, how'd you do it? And then he said, I don't know. I just talked to her. Now Wayman's just like singing to himself, and he's got a broom and a dustpan. He's sweeping up the broken glass and everything, just like, yeah, well, let me fix it. Now we see the martial arts reality. Wayman's writing a cigarette. He's like saying his side of the story. He's like, oh, like all those years ago when we fell in love, like your father said like it was dumb, like maybe he was right. Now back to R. Wayman. Even though he's stabbed, even though Evelyn just stabbed him, he's trying to like hold everybody back. He's like, please don't do he's like, he's still like protecting her, even though she just stabbed him with a piece of broken glass. I've been on this earth just as many days as you. I know you're fighting because we're all scared and confused. I'm confused too. All day. I don't know what the heck is going on. And he's crying through this, but somehow it feels like it's all my fault. And man, I related with that line right there. Because as someone who suffers from anxiety and depression, sometimes like if things are going wrong, you just like can't help but blame yourself sometimes. And it could be like nothing you did wrong, you know, but like man, like that hit me hard, like that part right there. And it's just like he's just such a good, nice person, and this is what Evelyn's realizing right here. It's like, man, like he's so nice, and he's just like trying to convince everyone to just be kind. Like that's all that matters. And Evelyn's just like having this realization and all of the realities, like, man, like, look what I have right here in front of me, this like amazing person. Now like everyone's kind of like getting ready to fight back, and Wayman's just trying to fix everything. She's telling Wayman that it's too late. But she holds out her hand to touch his. And then all the lights start flashing. Now it's flashing back to them sitting on the couch, watching TV and laughing. Them when they bought the laundromat. When they got the apartment. When he found the remote. All these like good memories of him that she has. Like falling in love with them all over again. And then here in the martial arts version, Wayman's telling her after he just said this long speech, like, hey, like, this is what you told me about this, like, alternate life. And it's like, but hey, like, after everything you told me, I would have loved, like, even though you have broken my heart again, I would have loved to, in another life, just do laundry and taxes with you. And that's it. You know? And it's like, man, Evelyn's just realizing how special Wayman is. Like, that he just loves me no matter what. And that's hard to find. It is. And then now, like, in the laundromat version, she's like, got up and gave him a hug. And she's visualizing this in our reality, the main reality. And they're just smiling at each other. But Joe Tabaki's not happy. And multiple realities, he's trying to just, like, snap her back into it, like, get her to go into this bagel, try to kill herself with her.
Feeling a good thing. They got your hopes up. So I'm here to save you some time. Eventually, that all just goes away.
So she's like, oh, like, I get it, you're feeling a good thing. Well, let me save you some time. Eventually, that's all gonna go away. Now she's trying to, like, flash her back to the Hall of Bagels reality. Now the bagel appears up in the top of the stairwell in the IRS building and starts sucking people in. All the papers are going everywhere. It's like, oh, another director cameo. This is Daniel Kwan that time getting sucked in.
I don't care if you come with me. Enjoy your life.
She said, I don't care if you come with me. Enjoy your life. She's dressed like a pop star at this point. She's got the little, like, headset mic on. Evelyn, like, drops down with the superhero stance on the stairwell to block her. Now she's gonna send all the other people after Evelyn to beat her up. And Wayman's just begging her, like, hey, like, no more fighting, no more hurting people. Joy steps over her to go up to the donut. Deirdre breaks off the paper slicer. I forget what it's called. But where you, like, cut the whole stack of papers at the same time. Just, like, pulls that blade off and starts swinging it around. And then now we're back to the laundromat reality. She's asking Deirdre, like, hey, like, what did my husband say to you to, like, make everything okay? And she's like, oh, he told me about that you're, like, getting a divorce and everything. And then it just, like, I remember my divorce, and I got mad and drove my Kia through my ex-husband's garage and stuff like that. And now we're getting some insight into the hot dog fingers universe. We're seeing their life together in that universe. Because they have hot dog fingers, she's, like, playing the piano with her toes. She's playing Claire de Lune.
That's not true. You're not unlovable.
And Deirdre's trying to say, like, oh, we're just all, like, unlovable. Like, we just need to accept that reality. But Evelyn's saying, like, no, we're not unlovable. And it's like, even if you're, like, have this obstacle, then there's a way to overcome it. Even if you have, in a universe where you have hot dog fingers, you get good with your feet. So now she's using martial arts with her feet. And she just gives that Deirdre a hug.
I feel nothing. I feel.
And that, like, disarms her, basically. Like, now she's just gonna use kindness instead of, like, fighting all these people and killing them and stuff. She's just gonna, like, be kind to them and then get her on her side, basically. And now they're all, like, shooting at her, but she, like, closes her eyes and stops the bullet, like, right as it's on her forehead, and takes it off in slow-mo. This is all happening in slow-mo, by the way. And then she turns the bullet into a googly eye. And puts it back on her forehead. And she sends all the bullets back to everybody else, and they're, like, covered in googly eyes now.
So stupid.
You see the rock version. And she's like, hey, don't move. You're supposed to just be a rock. And then Rock Evelyn turns around and she has googly eyes on her.
Evelyn. What are you doing?
I'm learning to fight like
Wayman says, Evelyn, what are you doing? And she says, I'm learning to fight like you. And so she's just going to be kind and be silly and fix everything that way. She grabs two of the people that are trying to fight her, just like throws them together, and then they like become married and kiss. And then the military guy turns the grenade into a cologne or perfume. It's the perfume that he was talking about before that his wife used to wear. So that makes them all happy.
these are direct indications that there's an impingement on the nervous system.
Then the one guy flashes to a X-ray where he has all these like medical problems, and then just basically like fixes his spine to where
Looking pretty good.
he doesn't have that neck problem anymore. And then now we get the pervert office guy, played by director Daniel Scheinert. And then cut to the basically like shoves a ball gag in his mouth to like get him all excited and happy. Because he's into that BDSM. He had like the hidden room and everything. So that's how you disarm him. So most of these guys are disarmed at this point. She's getting closer to Joy. And Grandpa getting out of the wheelchair. She grabs the belt off one guy, like whips it around Joy's ankle like Indiana Jones. Tries to pull her down, but she does pull her down. She like tumbles down the stairs, and then all of her like identities get all mixed up. And she's wearing this outfit that's like a combination of like a bunch of them. Oh, and then Rakakuni chef attacks her. She pulls his hair. That takes him back to that reality. And then we get a scene of her fixing everything, like saying like, oh, you gotta go back and get him, save him from the animal control.
It's a good thing you're not alone. Let's go rescue your silly raccoon.
So she jumps on his shoulders, and she's pulling his hair. So she's controlling him like the raccoon would in the other reality. And she's fighting her way up the stairs now with this guy. Okay, so just now I messed up and accidentally paused it, but then I had to go to the bathroom anyway, so I used that opportunity to do that. So the recording got messed up at this point, but the movie's almost over, so at this point it's not really gonna sync up, but hey, whatever. Alright, so continuing on, like we're in the middle of the fight scene. Grandpa's getting out of his wheelchair. He's trying to get up to the stairs. Now we're flashing back to him at the laundromat. He's all ashamed of her for like causing a scene at the laundromat and everything. Now we're flashing back to martial arts Evelyn. She's trying to stop that Wayman from leaving. And he's just saying like, hey, like, so basically like all this stuff is like falling apart here too, where she like tried to fix it, but then those are falling apart too, because Wayman's still gonna leave, and he's like, hey, like that other life would have been nice, but it's too late, you know. And then now like Evelyn's confronting her father, like saying like, hey, like I'm not gonna do to Joy what you did to me. Like I'm not gonna just like give up on her. Like how'd you let me go so easily? And then now she's saying in the laundromat version, like it's okay if you can't be proud of me, because I finally am like proud of myself, you know. I spent most of my... Sorry, I messed up there. Saying like, oh, like I was hoping that she wouldn't turn out like me, but she did turn out like me, and it's okay that she's a mess. Because just like me, the universe gave her someone kind, patient, and forgiving to make up for all she lacks. And now she introduces Becky to the grandpa as Joy's girlfriend. This is Becky. She is Joy's girlfriend. And he looks surprised, but not that surprised, you know. It's just like, oh. You know, he's just like kind of thinking it over, but he's not like, you know, he didn't like have a heart attack or anything like that, like they thought before, you know. And that fixed alpha grandpa, and now he like lets Evelyn go to like grab Joy and save her from going into the donut. Not donut, bagel. Grabs her, stops her from going in. They're like face to face now. Now they're gonna fight, or Joy's trying to fight. And Evelyn just wants to give her a hug. Now they're fighting in all these alternate realities, but it's just the background changing. It's still their same outfits. Oh, okay, now their outfits are changing. Now they're judges. Joy's saying like, oh, you'll win in this universe, but I'll beat you eventually. Just flashing through all the other universes again. With the pinata again. Get like this like film noir. She's just not giving up. Neither of them are giving up. They're just both being super stubborn. Get the Smash Bros sound effect again. I am your mother. And she finally gives her a hug. And Joy's like turned back to her normal, like real Joy outfit. And then everybody's like, there's like a train of people like holding her back. Everyone's on Evelyn's side at this point. Now we're flashing back through her life and all the other universes, and now it's finally just screams, "Stop, Mom! Just stop!"
Good for you. You're figuring your shit out. That's great. I'm really, really happy for you.
It's like, great, I'm glad you figured your shit out, but like, I'm tired.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
So she doesn't want to hurt anymore, and when I'm with you, it just hurts both of us.
So let's just go our separate ways.
And let's go our separate ways.
Just let me go.
And just tell her mom to let her go. And Evelyn says, okay. And I just hear her let go on like all the different realities. There's a rock just rolling down into the canyon. Then Evelyn says, wait. And like goes and opens Joy's car door. Joy gets out. Says, you are getting fat and you never call me, even though we have a family plan and it's free. You only visit when you need something. You got a tattoo and I don't care. If it's supposed to represent our family. You know I hate tattoos.
Places I could be. Why would I want to kill you? Yes, you're right. It doesn't make sense.
Evelyn, Sola, Gola, let her finish.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, like of all the places I could be, why would I want to be with here? But I do.
Maybe there is something out there. Some new discovery that makes people in small pieces of shit. Something that explains why.
Maybe there is something that'll make us feel like some smaller piece of shit. Maybe there's something that'll explain all this noise.
And why? No matter what, I still want to.
And maybe there's something that'll explain, like, why no matter what, I still want to be with here. I will always want to be here with you. Enjoy. So she's crying now. I'm crying now. And it's just like you, like, oh, so are you just gonna ignore everything? Like, you could be anything. Like, why not go somewhere where your daughter is better, you know? Here, all we get are a few specks of time where any of this actually makes sense. That's what Joy's saying. And Evelyn says that I will cherish these few specks of time. Just the bottom line is like it's family over everything. It's like it's the people you care about, the people you're there for, and everything, you know? It's not like, and that's not to say like, oh, if you have like, you know what I mean? Like, if your family's like hurting you, you know what I mean? Like, if you have like an abusive family, I'm not saying like, oh, stick by them, they're your family. But like in this case where it's just like, hey, like they're disagreeing and everything, but like there's a way to work it out. Like you just have to both be willing to do it. You can't just give up. Joy's very hesitant. Like she's still very like sobby. Still trying to figure it out. Like, is this what I want? Like, is this like she doesn't want to get her hopes up. She doesn't want to get hurt again. We're just flashing all through the different realities. We're flashing a little bit in our reality. We're seeing Becky bonding with the grandpa. Everything. Like, everything's like starting to go well. Like, everything is like fixing itself. And finally they hug. Both holding each other. They're both crying. Like, like this is what it's all about. This is it. This is what we've been building to. Wayman's there. He comes in. Joy says it's so awkward. She asks her mom, do you still want to do the party? And Evelyn says we can do whatever we want. Nothing matters. And they both laugh. And fade to black. And open up on the back of the table. They're looking at the receipts. They're packing everything up. Joy's saying, like, hey, we're going to be late. Like, we got to go. Part 3, all at once. Back at the IRS building. Becky gave them a ride. Now, Evelyn's lecturing Becky, which I guess makes her officially part of the family. She says, hey, you need to grow your hair. Because she has, like, the buzzed side. Like, she has, like, the long hair, but, like, I don't know what it's called, but it's, like, where it's, like, shaved on, like, the side of the hair. But the top is still long. Then Evelyn grabs Wayman and gives him a kiss right there in public. It's like literally what the older couple in the beginning of the movie was doing. Gives them a big hug, just like their kids again. All lovey-dovey, all romantic.
Okay. Yes. I am happy to say I do think
Give all the stuff to Deirdre. She's like, okay, this is an improvement. Things are better. Glad you listen. We have a problem. She's saying, like, hey, you got some of it right, but there's still some mistakes that you're going to have to fix. So, but, like, she's at a better tune about it. So it's like, hey, like, this is doable. But then now we get a slow zoom on Evelyn, who's kind of starting to space out. And then she's like, Evelyn, did you hear me? She's like, I'm sorry, what did you say? And then we get the title, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And credits. And that is it. That is the movie. Wow. Like, oh, man, I just love this movie so much. It's so good. It's so perfect. It is like this. I'd say this is the first time since Parasite that they've gotten the Best Picture winner correct. And before that, who knows? Like, oh yeah, like the Oscars like, I love the Oscars. I watch them every year, except for last year. Like, oddly enough, like, I've watched every year since I was a kid. Like the earliest one I can remember, like specifics that I can remember, is when Titanic won everything. So that was like what, 98. So I remember those Oscars, but I know I was watching them before that because my parents would watch them back then. So I watched every year since at least Titanic. And the one year I didn't watch because it wasn't streaming anywhere. I didn't have cable. I didn't have any like YouTube TV or Tubi or any of that shit. So the one year I don't watch the Oscars is when something like notable actually happens. It was last year when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. That was the first year I didn't watch the telecast. I looked up all the winners and everything, you know. I watched all the Best Picture nominees beforehand, so I'd already seen Coda. And, you know, that's a conversation for another time on what I think about that. It's a good movie, but it just felt like a Hallmark movie. But yeah, like they get it wrong most of the time, so it's so refreshing when they do get it right. And I do feel like if you didn't see this movie, you could easily think like, oh, like I've been hearing about this movie all year. It's so overrated. Like, I'm tired of hearing about it. And then it wins all the Oscars, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I used to be there too. That's why you gotta watch all of, like, if you, well, okay. I'm not saying you have to watch all the Oscar movies if you're just a movie person, you know what I mean? Like, but if you care about the Oscars, even just like as entertainment value, like, you have to watch all the nominees, at least all the Best Picture nominees, because otherwise you're just gonna like be pissed off the whole time, especially when something like sweeps a bunch of awards. Because really, like, the key for me to when I started watching all the nominees was after it didn't win Best Picture, obviously, but the year that Hugo was nominated, the Martin Scorsese's Hugo, like when he did like his first family film, I remember that was winning all these like technical awards and stuff, and I was just like, oh, that stupid movie with that stupid little robot thing and everything that looks so dumb. Like, why is this winning everything? And I was so mad. And then I finally got around to watching it like one day, and I'm like, oh, this was like a really delightful movie, and I really liked it. So like, okay, if I was like so off base with that, then I need to start like finally watching like all the nominees and everything. So now I really try to watch every Best Picture nominee at least. Like, so like, that's why like I really encourage, like, if you are a person that watches the Oscars, then like try to do that. But this movie, like, it deserved everything it got. Like, it really did. Like, it's a refreshing movie. It's unique compared to other stuff that wins, you know? It didn't, like, yeah, like, it hits beats that other things have, and it, like, takes inspiration from other genres and other types of films, you know? But, like, all together as one piece of art, it's very unique compared to other stuff. At least stuff that's like coming out recently. It's not tied to a piece of IP, a pre-existing IP, intellectual property, if you don't know what IP stands for. It's just its own thing, you know? And I think that's what was so refreshing. I wasn't going to see a pre-existing franchise and stuff, and while I do go see those movies, I still go see every MCU movie. It's nice to see something that isn't that, you know? I don't want every movie I see to be a sequel or a remake or a ripoff of something. I want some ideas to be completely original. And while it's pretty impossible to be like 100% original, you know, because obviously, like I said, this takes from other stuff here and there, but it's like taking random parts from random things and making a unique concoction. And that's what was so nice about this. I remember what got me to go see it because it came out early in the year, and most Oscar bait stuff comes out like towards the end of the year. So I had been seeing it on like Letterboxd, like people I follow were like rating it, and it was getting all these like 5-star reviews and everything. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Like this is getting a lot of heat early on in the year, and like, can it really be like that good? And I'm trying to think if I don't think I even saw a trailer before I went and saw it in the theater. Like I just knew that there was this movie that was getting a lot of buzz, and like everyone that I followed that rated it gave it like a perfect rating. I'm like, okay, like I gotta check this out. And easily I could have been like over critical of it, because a lot of times when something's hyped before I see it, I tend to have this like I'm almost trying to not like it, and I don't like that about myself, but that's just my inclination, is like if something's overhyped, then I'm gonna be a little harsher on it. But I went into this and it was good. It was perfect, It was like, okay, yeah, this lived up to all those 5-star ratings, and I loved that. So this was like the 4th or 5th time I watched it, was just now, like watching it for the podcast. Love it. I love this movie. I'm so glad like I bought it as soon as it came out, and that was like the first Blu-ray in a while that I bought, like besides like Criterion's and stuff like that. As the first new release I'd bought in a long time, because it was just that good. Like, just the first perfect movie in a really long time. And I love it, and I hope everyone either watched it before or watched along with me. If you haven't seen it yet and you've listened to all this, please see it, because I'm not doing it justice. Trust me. Like, me explaining it, like, you need to just actually go watch it, because it's a great movie. It is. Like, I feel like the only people that don't like it are maybe like in the older crowd, because it is very just like flashy and confusing a little bit. But like, if you're watching Marvel movies and you like those, watch this. This is doing everything those are doing times 100 and better. You know what I mean? So yes, watch this movie if you haven't yet. Please do it. But yeah, there goes my first commentary episode. Please let me know in the comments. Like, I do want constructive criticism, okay? Like, if you didn't like this commentary style episode, let me know. Like, try to be nice about it. But, just let me know. Because if you guys prefer this, if I get like an overwhelming response of like, oh, this is way better than what you usually do, one, this would cut down on my time, like, of working on this quite a bit. But if you like the commentary episodes, let me know. If you don't like them, also let me know. Maybe I could do them every once in a while. Maybe I can do like a separate like bonus episodes or a separate podcast that's commentary. I don't know. Just let me know. Like, just please be active on the Instagram. That's where I'm the most active. It's at Instagram. I'm at movies. They're pretty good. No punctuation whatsoever in that handle. But yeah, follow me on there. Comment on the stuff. Like, maybe I'll put like a Instagram story or something where you can comment like, hey, like, commentary good, commentary bad. You know what I mean? So yeah, just let me know in there. But yeah, thank you for everyone who's listening. Thank you for new listeners, new subscribers, everything like that. I hope you continue to listen. If this is the first episode you listen to, I usually don't do commentaries. I know I kind of explained that in the beginning, but the way I usually do it is I watch it, I take notes, and then I just kind of talk about it. I kind of riff on it a little bit, and it's not usually 2.5 hours long. So if you're like, okay, like I like this guy's vibe, but I don't want him to talk for that long, listen to the other episodes. And then if you don't like those, then yeah, I'm not going to tell you like to stick around. But please, like, if you guys like this podcast, keep listening, subscribe, tell other people about it. If you have friends that are big into movies and stuff, if you have that obnoxious friend who's like always talking about movies and thinks he's better than you because he or she is better than you, or they, and just because they like these like, oh, like I only like high art cinema, yeah, recommend it to them. And they can tell you how, like, I have shitty taste in movies, because they're the best person in the whole world. And then they can tell you about Ingrid Bergman for 3 hours. So, or Ingmar Bergman? There's two people. There's Ingrid Bergman, the actress, and Ingmar Bergman, the prolific director. So, yeah. If you have a friend that knows the difference between those two people, recommend the podcast. Anyways, so I've rambled on enough. I need to go ahead and snip the beginnings and ends off this and throw it up on my podcast, whatever that fucking website is where I make it go out to all the other places you get this. But yeah, so I'm gonna upload this, then go to bed. Thank you for sticking with this. Yeah, like I said, let me know if this was the worst episode you've ever heard in your life. But please, if it is, just let me know and then stick around for next time, and I'll go back to how it used to be. Okay. All right. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.